Hello and welcome back to another Omniheroes video. In this video we're going to have a look at some free-to-play teams, or relatively free-to-play teams, on the Fort World Arena. These are only the first 5, so this is from it's up to Challenger tier. Then once you get into Challenger tier, you're going to need 7 teams, and then if you hit Supremacy, then you will need a full 9 teams as well. Fortunately, there is a new Chrono Relic out as well, or 2 new Chrono Relics out this season, which gives us a full 9 Chrono Relics. So we're going to be building around those for the entirety of the rest of this season, once the new relic gets released. However, in this video, I thought it would be a little easier and make things a little bit more approachable. I'm not just going to stick in all of the brand new units and all of the best units that you can possibly want, because a lot of people won't have access to those units right now. You will do. Over the course of the game's lifespan, you will gain access to those units through the Oracle shop, through the various different summons that you can do as well. But for now, these are the teams that are the most accessible relatively, and units which you should be pulling. Typically, I've found I do get Talos and Dullahan very often. Specifically, I know that because they're both at 15 stars. As you can see down here, Dullahan at 15 stars and Talos at 15 stars. So what I've done, because I can't really say what is free to play and what is not free to play, because this particular account is definitely not free to play, but there are certain units which I do have more than others, and again, I've tried using those where possible. So the first team that we're going to go for is Mystifiers. I think Mystifiers is one of the strongest teams currently in PvP meta, and the reason for that primarily is because of the it's because of the corrode damage, because of the effects that you can get from the corrode damage, and because corrode damage also ignores a lot of defense as well. So that is this free-to-play version of the Mystifiers team. You do have 3 D units on here, so Divine or Deviant units. You have Talos, Dullahan, and Gaia. These are the most commonly used units, or commonly obtained units. Gaia specifically, you should be prioritizing getting her from the Oracle shop. The reason that I say that is because last time I started a free-to-play account, the first unit I got was Gaia from the Oracle shop, and the second unit I got was Dahlia, and then Elisha following on from that as well. And the reason that I went in that order is because Gaia works so well with Lancelot and also with Emily as well. So we do have the other 2 units, Lancelot and Emily, on the team. We have Lancelot. He does a lot. Primarily, what he does is he increases corrode damage. So if we have a look at his passives here, when Lancelot is deployed, increases the corrode effect by 200% for all allies, which means that your corrode is going to start to do absolutely massive damage, especially the higher star level you can get him, the more corrode damage that you are going to do. Really, really impactful. Now the next unit I'm going to talk about is Emily. Emily is a very, very strong unit, and the reason for that is because of her synergies and her passive. So Emily is all about Mystifiers. As you can see, when Emily is deployed, the limit of corrode stacks increases by 5, and then you also have Emily's cure rate additionally increases her attack by 0.5% or 1% respectively, depending on where you've got her up to as well. But what I found with Emily is it is essential to have her on the team, increasing those corrode stack limit by 5, as well as Dullahan. So if we have a look at Dullahan, he also increases the corrode stack limit by 5, plus as well he also increases his own attack per his cure rate, applying Infernal Flames and also applying corrode and taunt on enemies. Very, very strong, and Dullahan charges at 3 random targets and applies 2 stacks of corrode as well. Lancelot also does something very similar. So on Lancelot's basic attack, he'll apply a stack of 2 stacks of corrode to each enemy unit. So if we have a look here, it is this one, yep. So Lancelot additionally applies, he performs a basic attack. He additionally applies 2 stacks of corrode on all enemies. So a very, very powerful effect, especially when the corrode stack limit has gone up to 15, with Dullahan and Emily on the team, and the default corrode stack limit being 5. So again, Talos, the final unit that I've not really talked about altogether too much, but you do want Talos on the team, because when Talos is deployed, increase the corrode damage dealt by allies by 50%. This multiplies into Lancelot's effect as well. So the more corrode that we can apply to enemies, the better off that we will be. Also, something to note, these units all have exclusive runes, but Emily's exclusive runes are very, very strong. And let me just show you what I mean by that. So increase the corrode damage of all allies by 50%, and then at the start of battle, Emily applies 5 stacks of corrode to all enemies as well, which pairs alongside the Mystifier buff. So if you do have 5 Mystifiers on the team, the start of battle applies 5 stacks of corrode on all enemies. Each 1 stack deals 12% of the ally team's average attack every round, and allies restore 25% of their own max HP every round. Very good for healing and keeping your team alive. So we are looking to apply as many corrode stacks as possible. The entire team will apply 5 stacks of corrode to the enemies, and also Emily will apply those 5 stacks of corrode. Lancelot will apply those stacks of corrode as well. And something to note, Gaia, every time that we apply a stack of corrode, she will increase damage resistance and also damage boost as well. So we get that 10% damage boost, 10% damage resistance, plus as well, Gaia will slow enemies down if you do have her up to 7 stars. And additionally, the total number of corrode stacks, blah, 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 we don't really care about that. The reason for that is it's basically impossible without the new unit Tiamat. But something else to note on this particular passive, applies 1 stack of corrode applied by allies, which means that, say for example, Lancelot is going to apply 2 stacks of corrode to the enemy. That will be 4 stacks of corrode. When we apply the 5 stacks of corrode at the start of battle, that will also be 6 stacks of corrode in total, plus then the additional 5 from Emily, which will technically be 6. So you start the battle out on 12 stacks of corrode. With regards to relics, we've gone for basic, it's the most basic relics, legendary relics that you've got. If you do not have a copy of either or any of those relics, the best one to use would be the Cauldron, and then the Book of Thoth. And again, finally, you do really want a copy of Night's Edge. You can pick that up from your various different methods throughout the course of the life cycle of the game. You should have at least 1 copy of this, the Chrono Relic. Typically anyway, because there are 3 starting Chrono Relics. The first one is the Night's Edge, which we've got there. You've got Hand of Tyr, and then you've also got Famine's Scales as well. But for now, I would say that these are the best 3 if you are sort of a mid-tier player or free-to-play player. This is one of the best lineups that you can go for. If you are looking to make a change, if you've got better units, I would suggest switching Emily and Talos out of this lineup and putting in another very strong DD unit, or taking out Emily and putting a very strong DD unit in there. If you do have a copy of Mulan, you can take out Emily or Lancelot and replace with Mulan. If you do have a copy of Astrid, you can take out Talos and pop Astrid in there as well. The reason that I've not gone for these is because these are much more easily obtainable than Astrid is, or Mulan is as well. A lot of players will not have copies of those, but you should really be prioritizing those 2 as well if you can. Now we move on to the next team. The next team is a Doom's team. You should be prioritizing getting a copy of Dahlia as quickly as you can. Dahlia is a really, really important unit within the Pantheon and within all of the different various events that you can go for. We do have Athena and Merlin on here as well. Very good at keeping, well, Athena is very, very good at dealing a lot of damage and also staying alive. Athena is one of the best tanks, free-to-play tanks in the game. Switching with Dahlia only improves that as well. So remember, every time Dahlia switches with Athena, every time she takes action, we are going to increase Athena's max HP and max attack. You do have Ophelia on here as well. Ophelia, very, very strong, especially even at 6 stars. Ophelia is very, very strong. The reason for that is her first passive. So if we have a look at this first passive here, When Ophelia is deployed, the effect of increasing max HP of allies will provide an additional attack bonus with a conversion rate of 50%. So with Dahlia, for example, she will increase max HP by up to 3,000%. So we will be getting an additional 1,500% for Athena and for Dahlia as well, depending on how many buffs we have on the team. Speaking of buffs, we do have Halissa on the team as well, another relatively free-to-play unit given out very often, and one of the better free-to-play units as well. The reason for that is because she applies so many buffs on our team. It makes it very difficult for our team to go down. You do have, you do need to be applying attack stacks and reflect boosts as well. So each time Halissa gains a reflect boost, she applies 1 stack of attack boost to allies as well. And then at the start of each round, Halissa gains attack based on the total reflect boost and attack boost in the team. Each stack increases her attack by 20% up to 20 stacks. Additionally, increases our allies' max HP by 10% and defense by 5% up to 20 stacks. Very, very strong ability, and you get that as 7 stars. So only having 2 copies of Halissa will allow you to use her in a PvP environment, and again, it's a very, very powerful effect, especially because of what Athena does and what Merlin does as well. So if we have a look at their passives, Athena increases reflect rate and also increases her own damage reduction. Every time she attacks, applies 2 stacks of reflect boost on 2 random allies, and also 2 stacks on 1 of reflect boost on 1 random ally. And if we have a look at what Merlin does as well, Merlin does pretty much the same thing except for attack stacks. So Merlin summons Forest, dealing 375, and receives 2 stacks of reflect boost as well. So every time he does his attack, he will receive those 2 stacks of reflect boost, and he will also gain another 2 stacks of reflect boost on his active skill as well. So Merlin's reflect rate additionally increased by 25%. And every 1% in his reflect rate additionally increases attack by 1%, which is why we see him put up some absolutely huge numbers sometimes. But keeping Athena on that front row is going to be really, really important. We have gone for... Oh, sorry. I didn't show the artifact, but for all of these teams, I've just gone for this. Increase the attack of Mystifiers, Dooms, Valianters, Ethereals, etc., etc. I've just gone for that 300% attack increase. Now, second team, again, 300% attack increase, and we do have relics as well. So we do have, where's it gone? We have Leviathan as the first relic. The reason that I've gone for Leviathan is because it is the most readily available relic, but do not underestimate the Claw and Whirling Blade combo. The Whirling Blade is really, really strong, especially for increasing the reflect rate, which will also boost Halissa's stats, and it will also boost the rest of the team's stats when it is deployed as well. And as long as our reflect rate is above 200%, it will try and cast it again. Yeah. When the allied team's reflect rate reaches 80, the relic has a 100% chance to be cast again. So effectively, you can stun the enemy with this, allowing them to not hit you, but also to effectively proc all of the passives and all of the buffs available. But personally, I've gone for Leviathan just because it's a higher star level relatively. I've gone for the Stun Hammer, which does basically the same thing, except that it also does a couple of other things as well. The magic damage resistance by 75% is very, very strong. If yours doesn't do that, it's because it's not the same level as mine, but it will have that basic magic damage reduction. And then finally, we've gone for Famine Scales as well. Famine Scales absorb souls, effectively healing your entire team. Also applying Confuse, which we're not doing at the moment. You can run Ayushta if you do have her, but applying Confuse to more than 1 target during this round, the allies' max HP is increased by 150%. Can effectively ignore that bit, but it is this. Purifies the healed allies from 5 stacks of debuffs and resets the cooldown. So the purifies healed 5 stacks, purifies the 5 stacks of debuffs is really important, especially when you're going up against Mystifiers. This is a really strong effect. Really powerful indeed. So that is the Dooms team that I am running. The next team that I have got together is the It is the Avengers team. This Avengers team is really powerful because of this one unit. I have seen teams at sort of 10,000 power, seasonal power, 10,000 seasonal power, take down my teams, which are at 30,000. Ooh, hold on. Just spilled my coffee. Sorry about that. Yes, so Aphrodite single-handedly taking down a lot of my teams, specifically in the tournament mode, which is why I know it can be a very successful team. You do have Althea on this team. If you don't have a copy of Althea, you really do need her up to 7 stars. The reason that you need her up to 7 stars is because of her 7-star passive. It does unlock in full when you do get her up to 7 stars. The only bit you don't get is the 1% increase in dodge rate. But when any unit on the battlefield dies, as the Guardian of Spring of Eternal Youth, Althea increases her max HP by 50%. Very, very powerful effect, stacking up to 30 times, so we can get up to 1500%. I believe that is how it works. Yeah, probably. Yes, it is. So up to 1500% max HP, and as well, after dealing active damage, there's a 33% chance to apply freeze. It is, in fact, not that one. Oh, it is. Yeah, it is. Hold on. Oh, it's this one down here. Sorry, my bad. It is, yeah, this is a 7-star passive. So, when Althea is deployed, the revival effect for Avengers synergy mates takes effect immediately instead of the next round. The problem with the Avengers is, say for example, if your entire team gets wiped out in one go by an enemy Pandora, by an enemy Aphrodite, by an enemy Eudora, something like that, it can be very devastating, especially if you don't have Althea on the team, because you'll get the tombstones, but then you'll lose. You will lose even though you have the revive effect, even though Mavis has the potential to come back, 5-6 times. Althea is really, really important for this particular team build because you come back straight away, so you don't lose immediately. Janna is here just to sit in the back and do basically nothing until rounds 10 plus, and then she starts wiping enemies out left, right, and centre because she's had enough time to build up. You want to summon as many of these strangers as possible. So in case you don't know what Janna does, she is really a staple in the Avengers team, and the reason for that is this passive right here at the start of each round summons a stranger into an empty allied slot. You can summon up to 8. Now, when this stranger dies, it also counts towards the effect of Althea's passive, increasing her HP. It procs Aphrodite, it procs Mavis, and it also procs Janna herself as well. So, I think it is this one. Yeah, when any unit on the battlefield dies, Janna increases her attack by 50% up to 20 stacks. So, we need 20 units on the battlefield to die, and then Janna will have max attack, but she will get up to 250, up to 1,000% attack. It's really powerful ability. And then this one, to a single enemy and grants shield equal to 250% of her attack to the 3 allies with the lowest HP for 3 rounds. Is a very good protector and good at protecting herself as well. This stranger occasionally can stun enemies, but I wouldn't count on it, to be fair. And then there's a 50% chance to apply stun on all enemies for 2 rounds. It is what it is. But you want those strangers appearing as often as possible. Yes, sometimes it does conflict with Aphrodite and what she wants to do. Aphrodite wants to steal and put a unit in the extra slot. Janna wants to summon a stranger in the extra slot. More often than not, though, in round 1, you will see the unit in this extra slot summoned by Janna go straight down, and then it will proc Aphrodite to take an enemy unit, and you can wipe an enemy team in turn 1. I have seen it done to my own teams specifically. Again, we've seen it before. And then finally, we've got Persephone on this team to fill out the last slot. If you do have a copy of Nerissa and you have a copy of the rest of the units as well, you can take out Persephone and you can put Nerissa down here. But as it stands, Persephone I think is one of the easiest Avengers to obtain and to get her up to the star level required, which is 7 or 8 stars, depending on how far you are into the game. You will need that healing as well. It's really important because there's not a lot of healing on this team. We do heal occasionally, but it's only due to passives acquired through the hope tree, and if you don't have that sort of passive in that hope tree, then it can be a little bit tough. But what works as well, just something to note, if say for example Persephone does her ultimate, she will give fortitude to the unit in slot 1. Giving Fortitude to the unit in slot 1 is really powerful, but giving the Fortitude effect to the 2 units in the front slot, so both Mavis and Aphrodite in this case, will gain the Fortitude effect and it will go for 2 rounds rather than the 1 round without Mavis on the team. So let's just have a quick check on what Mavis does. Specifically, I personally think Mavis is the strongest Avenger. The reason that I think Mavis is the strongest Avenger is because of this final word, or the last word effect here. Here we go. So you do need her up to 11 stars to proc this last word effect. So prioritizing Mavis, if you're running an Avengers team with Aphrodite on it, is going to be key to get this last word. So Mavis will immediately revive and restore 20% of max HP upon death, and it can be activated up to 3 times per battle. So not only do you have the Avengers effect, not only do you have the phantom effect from the units on the back row, but you also have Mavis's up to 3 times per battle, so Mavis can potentially come back 5 or 6 times. Upon death, Mavis deals 1 times the damage of her ultimate to all enemies, and her ultimate is 300% physical damage to backline enemies, but this last word effect will hit all enemies, so it's a very, very powerful effect. Got Killing Command. Again, she doesn't do very much damage altogether with just her attacks because they are single target, but again, that last word effect is really, really powerful. Now, when Mavis is deployed, the number of targets affected by Fortitude effect of Persephone's Soul Salvation skill increases by 1, and the duration is extended to 2 rounds, which means that we're going to get Fortitude when Persephone casts her ultimate skill. We're going to get Fortitude for these front 2 units, that is both Mavis and Aphrodite. You do want Mavis and Aphrodite to survive for as long as possible, so Mavis will have a chance to build up her attack and build up that ultimate damage as well. So the longer the fight goes on, the more damage Mavis is going to do with that final word. You can also keep Janna on this front slot to keep her alive, but I found that in mirror matches where you go up against opposing Aphrodites, if your Aphrodite is on the back row and theirs is on the front row, they will win that fight. And the reason for that is because their Aphrodite is not hitting your Aphrodite, so on and so forth. But again, it's basically down to RNG at that point, so good luck. Now, you do have the chest, which is readily available from the Oracle Summons, not the Oracle Summons, the Invoke Crystal Summons. You do have that from that chest there. It's a very powerful artifact, especially in PvP. The reason that it's powerful in PvP is because of this. The 2 times the effect can be triggered up to 3 times per round. However, you do instantly restore 100 energy and also reduce the cost of relic energy of enemies by 80, which means that if, say, for example, enemy have cast their first relic, enemy have cast their second relic, and now they're building up to the 3rd relic, and they're up to, say, 45 relic energy, you will cast your chest and it will move it back down to 5 energy, so it will take longer for them to cast their relics. Something else to note as well, if your team is faster than the enemy team, what you can do is you can stop them from activating their relic completely, because you'll go from your relic through to the sphere, and then you go into your Hand of Tyr as well, reset the relic, and it will stop them from hitting the 50 mark sometimes. The 30 mark sometimes. It can be very, very strong if you can stop enemies from using their relics. And finally, again, just the 300% attack for Avengers is absolutely fine there. Now we move into the next team. This is a Glorians team. Glorians, I've gone with 2 Monarchs on the front. You've got Lee and Lillian Leah, and then you've got Nawi as the 3rd Verdian on the team as well. Getting as many basic attacks for Lee as possible is going to be key, and trying to proc Nawi as early in the fight as you possibly can is also going to be very beneficial for you. Hopefully not before Seraphina has had a chance to cast her ultimate. So Seraphina is just a healer, but she also applies a blessing to the team, which means you don't take damage, which can be very impactful with Lee. You've also got that healing to pair in with the Grace of Hunters, so we get that 250 million additional attack and defense very quickly when Seraphina does her ultimate attack. And finally, we do have, so really, you've got Nawi, who will do all of your damage. You've got Lily and Leah to offer protection and Not only protection, but survivability as well, providing shields and healing. You've got Lee, who will be a slow burn. Lee will build up, so if Nawi isn't able to get the job done, eventually Lee will, after he's built up all of that attack. It's a very powerful effect, and pairing him alongside another Monarch is going to allow him to survive for much, much longer than if he was by himself. And finally, we do have Wu Zatan as well. I would say Wu is probably the strongest Glorian on the team, and in general, Wu is the strongest Glorian. Now, if you don't have Wu and you don't have a copy of Seraphina, you can always use these two, Talinas and Gwyn. Very, very strong. Talinas gets your third Monarch in there, just in case, and then Gwyn will also increase the attack for Nawi. A very powerful, very potent combination. But for me, having Seraphina for that heal, where's she gone, and having Wu Zatan on the team for the damage reduction and damage increase is key to winning. You also have this effect right here. So Wu will apply the Phantom Illusion effect to enemies when she does her ultimate attack, stealing one of them and applying protection for the rest of your team. So whenever a unit is whenever one of your units takes damage, and you've got a unit in this extra slot with thanks to Wu Zatan, instead of your unit taking damage, the unit in this extra slot here that's been stolen will take the damage instead. A very, very strong, powerful combination. Now we do have we have Spear, we have Shield, and then we have the Exorcism Cauldron as well as our relics. If you want a super free-to-play team, you go with Lantern, you go with the Orpheus Lair, and again, you will need a single copy of the Cauldron will do absolutely fine for your purposes. You want Lantern to reduce the cost of your lair. You want this lair to proc as quickly as possible, so you get the Fortitude effect and the healing from it. And then you want the Cauldron as well to stop any damage that is coming through. But for me, I'm choosing the shield and also the spear. The reason for that is the spear is relatively available. I say relatively available. It's not super available. So there are others, like you can still use the lantern in this spot to reduce the cost of your shield. But the shield is really, really a very, very strong relic. And the reason for that is because of the shielding that it applies as well. So after casting Sylvan Shield, increase the target's max HP by 100%, and casting Shield increases target shield points by 75% of their max HP as well. So we do get the higher the HP. Unfortunately, we do have high HP on this front row. As you can see, Advanced Heart and both up by 500%. We'll get a lot of shielding on this front row. It's really, really good, especially trying to keep Lee alive for as long as possible. Now we will take 1 or 2 units out with her, unless you're going up against somebody who's much weaker, in which case now we'll take basically all of the units out. You've got Wu Zatan to steal, and you've got Lee to provide, again, that slow burn. So we finally move on to our last team. It is Valianters. Valianters need a lot. Valianters need a lot, and the reason the Valianters need a lot is because the team, it doesn't have the indirect damage to fall back on, like the Mystifiers. It doesn't have the remove control effects like the Glorians do. You also have the Avengers, who just have Aphrodite. I mean, you don't need any other unit on that team besides Aphrodite. But they don't have a lot of that. You do have Hades, which is why I've included him. The reason that I've included Hades is because he is effectively a pseudo leader for the, or in fact, he is probably a leader for the Valianters. The reason for that is this passive here. This is 6-star passive. After Hades is deployed, Valianters synergy heroes increase damage reduction by 50%. That is a lot. 50% is a lot, and can execute targets with HP below 35%. The current way of doing that is having a full 5 Valianters team. So you do need 5 Valianters on the team to get the 25% damage reduction. And also, you do need 3 Valianters relics on the team to get 20% HP for an execution limit. That means that if any one of our units even so touches another unit, even if the unit dodges the attack and you get a miss, basically you will execute that enemy if they are below 35%, which is why if you're running a Valiant team, Hades is a must run. If you don't have a copy of Hades, you can pop in somebody like Macaria instead, who does fit that role. You have got Themis as well, or Leandra, who can also sit in that spot, but I find Hades to be the most effective, especially because he steals a unit on round 1. He will steal a unit in round 4. He will steal a unit in round 8 or 9. I think it is round 9, and then he will steal a final unit in round 13 as well. So you can effectively, if Hades survives all 13 rounds, he can absorb all of the power of the enemy team and use it to attack back. Now we do have Pandora as well on the team, a very relatively relatively recent unit, and you do really need her up to 7 stars for this final passive. But the point of Pandora is this: when an ally kills an enemy, they will cast the skill again on the target enemy with the lowest HP. Each time allies cast their ultimate, Pandora will additionally cast her ultimate. This effect triggers up to 5 times per round. The hero no longer casts active skills during active skill rounds, instead using ultimates. So that's the final part. So you need to get her up to 8 stars to get that part of the passive, and you need to get this bit up here as well. So each time Pandora casts her skill, her skill's coefficients are increased by 200%, up to 100 million. In her own basic attack round, she casts her ultimate instead of her basic attack. That's the 9-star part of the passive, but it's the first part of the passive that we want for this. What that means is that this 450% every time she casts her ultimate will go up by 200%. So in round 1, she casts her ultimate because she replaces her basic with an ultimate. It goes up to 650%. You go up to 650 to 850 to 1050, etc, etc, up to 100 million damage, which is really, really powerful, and she just pops off. She really does. It's a really, really strong unit. I just can't get enough. Just can't get enough. But yeah, that in combination with Atrop's damage increase or attack increase for the entire team is a very, very strong combination indeed. Having Atrop's ultimate and then having Pandora ultimate again is really powerful. Elmer is in here because he is the tank within the game, relatively anyway. If you don't have a copy of Elmer, you probably should get him up to 7 stars so you can pass through to Rift Odyssey. But you can also use units in there, like Alice, for example. So Alice is the new unit from this season. You should be able to get at least 2 copies of Alice from this season, and getting her up to that 7 stars will allow her to enter a slacking state as well. So this slacking state, where is it? Here it is. So getting her up to here, when Alice's HP drops below 10%, she enters a slacking state, unable to take action but reduces incoming damage by 90%. She also applies 100% of her max HP as shield, 2 units in the same row. I think that's worded incorrectly. I don't think that that is the same row. I think that is actually, it's an AoE effect. According to the testing that Azu has done, it is an AoE effect, so all units will get that shield applied. But Elmer is really the best unit in that spot. Now, we have Marlena as well. Marlena is not a unit which I used up until very recently. I do have her half red runes as well, so where's she gone? Here you are. Marlena applies Mark and reduces enemy attack. She's like a better Elune, effectively. So if you don't have Marlena, you just run Elune in that spot instead. But she charges up a powerful strike, unleashes a sacred spear, dealing nice damage for 90% to the enemy with the lowest percentage of HP, which means if somebody is very low, she'll do more damage to them. Applies Mark for 1 round. Mark is attacked first, and also I believe it lowers defense as well. She also applies 50% damage boost to her stealth, stacking up to 10 times, so she does get an additional 500% damage boost. So the more she does this ultimate, the better off she'll be. And then we've got her actual passive. So when Marlena uses a basic attack, there's a 100% chance to apply Healing Rupture on a random enemy for 2 rounds. So that means every bit of healing that they receive, they will take as damage instead. Can be very effective, especially if people are running the Grace of Hunters and a lot of healing effects as well. And when Marlena is deployed, the damage dealt by the ally team to the targets affected by the mark increases by 50%. So the more mark that she does, the better off you'll be. Now, something else to note, her runes. Now, I didn't get her runes for quite some time, but they are very, very strong. At the start of the round, deals damage to the enemy with the lowest HP percentage, equal to 10% of her max HP, which is why you run her in slot 1 or slot 2. So the higher her HP, the better off you'll be. And also has 100% chance to apply Mark. At the start of the round, there's a 20% chance to deal damage to 2 random enemies equal to the damage of her max HP, and applies Pessimism as well. So getting those runes in for her means that the higher her HP, the more damage that she's going to do. Now, I have gone with these relics right here because we are already using the best Valianters relics within the game for, yes, there we go, sorry. For our first team, the Mystifiers team. So having the crown in here, the reason that you would run crown in this slot, applying stun, increase the relic damage by 300%. We don't care about that, but increases the damage dealt of all relics in the team by 100%. So we are going to do much more damage with our relics with crown on. We do have the Python's mirror as well, so we do revive a unit when we've got only 1 unit left, which is very powerful with Elma specifically. And I believe the mirror also increases Elma's HP. Yeah, max HP of Elma and Sandra by 75%. And then we've got the Execution Blades as well. Speaking along the Execution theme with Hades, the Judgment Blade increases attack of all allies by 10% and also increases relic damage by 300%. Plus, relic damage executes a target with less than 20% HP. So if a unit is on less than 20% HP and this relic blade touches them, they will get executed. So going along with this theme as well. But those are the free-to-play teams. I've discussed a couple of different options available for each team. There is also one more team, so I'll tell you what, bear with me. And here we are. So this is the best free-to-play team, I would say, relatively free-to-play for the Ethereals. And the reason for that is primarily because of this unit right here. This was the second unit I got from the Oracle shop on my free-to-play run in a new game for Omniheroes, and it was Elisha. The reason for that is every time we get a crit, she will increase the team's max HP and max attack, and also can allow units every time they get a crit to apply the freeze effect. A very, very powerful effect indeed, especially paired alongside units which do hit more than others. For example, Dorabella. Dorabella I am still running to this day in the Forgotten Realms. Dorabella is really powerful, and Dorabella I am still running in the what do you call it? The Tome Treasures, and I run her in this damage spot over Eudora. Because Dorabella just does more. With the 3 Dawnbringers on the team as well, just something to keep in mind. Each basic attack by ally units has 20% chance to initiate a combo and can be triggered only 1 time. So you can't infinitely do basic attacks. It will stop at some point, but Dorabella can attack using a basic attack, then Portia and Katrina can also follow up with that basic attack. Bai Sugen is another option for this team, putting her in over Portia, and again the reason for that is because the HP increases that Bai Sugen can apply is very, very strong. She applies every time she does a crit, she will apply HP boost, which is stacked outside of Elisha's passive as well, but the majority of players should have at least a copy of Portia as well. Bai Sugen is one of the new units, which is why I didn't include her on the original lineup, but you do have Karnak. Karnak was the first unit that I chose from one of the tickets from completing Rift Odyssey. So you complete you complete normal and hard difficulty, and you'll get yourself a copy of Karnak. Even at 6 stars, Karnak is really strong, applying all of this. So when Karnak is deployed and its ally lands a crit, there's a 100% chance to heal the entire team. That will keep your team alive for much longer than they should be able to be alive for. And then finally, we do have Katrina. Katrina is a really, really powerful asset. She's one of the slowest units in the game, but when she hits like a truck because she deals an additional 50% damage on top of what she's doing already. Portia as well. is very, very powerful and has one of the highest coefficients in the game. So if you have a look here, it is 813% to backline enemies, and as well at the start of each round, Portia summons a wave breaker, so get something in that extra slot to take the flak off the rest of the units in the team. Wave breaker inherits 50% of Portia's stats and a single enemy target, dealing 50% damage. When it dies, it will self-destruct, dealing physical damage to all enemies equal to 200% of the attack. Plus, as well, when Portia receives healing, the excess healing of 2% will be converted into attack. The total converted amount cannot be more than 40% of her own attack, so we do get that additional attack increase every time we heal, and we should be healing quite a bit, especially with Karnak on the team. So that is the team broken down. These are actually the best, I would say, free-to-play relics for Ethereals. It is the Chaos Orb. The reason for that is because every time we get a crit, we will get an additional bit of energy as well. So for 2 rounds after casting Chaotic Eye, gains 12 additional relic energy upon trigger of a critical hit. So hopefully by the end of round 2, you should have already cast your second relic, which is Excalibur. Excalibur is really powerful. It stuns the enemy and also, more importantly, increases crit rate. So if your crit rate is higher than 150%, which it should be with an all Valiant, an all Ethereals build, it has a 100% chance to be cast again. And after casting Excalibur, has 50% chance to randomly stun an enemy and applies 1 stack of crit rate boost to the team. And then finally, we do have our Chrono Relic. This is the most common Ethereals Chrono Relic, and it does a lot of work, increasing every time we cast one of these relics, will increase the team's HP by 75%. Also, Sanctuary has 35% chance of not disappearing. Don't matter about that. I don't care. It's just about the HP increases for Demon Bane Whip and getting as much HP for our team as possible so that Elisha's passive can be even more effective. So those are the teams. I've even give you an additional 6 team as well, just in case you do need it. But yeah, I just want to say thanks very much for watching. I do hope you have a great day and good luck in your World Arena attempts.